Jersey, stand the up. Okay, we are back again. Barb Meets World. This is my recap and review for The Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 14, episodes 2 through 4, y'all. Let's get it. Hey y'all, what is going on? Let me get okay. Boom, here we are. How are you guys doing today on this fine day? I know you're probably looking at the title like, girl, what are we about to talk about right now? So this video is going to be a little bit different since I am so behind on these episodes. I thought I would just give the highlights and my couple talking points that I wanted to bring up as it pertains to episodes 2 through 4 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey season 14. So didn't want to make this video super long, especially because, I mean, honestly, I was going to make individual videos for each episode, but then I was thinking like, they don't seem to give about the season, so why should I? And I mean that by saying, or what I mean by that is we ain't got a real reunion. And the episodes haven't been like giving too much, honestly. So I think this will be thorough enough. But before we get into all that, you guys, go ahead, hit that like button for me and my channel. It helps me in terms of the algorithm. It helps me attract new subscribers such as yourself. So go ahead, hit that like button for me, please, and thank you. And while you are at it, go ahead and subscribe. If you are not subscribed, hit that subscription button and that notification bell so you know every single time I make an upload. And I would love to know what you guys think about these episodes and about my commentary in the comment section below. So don't be shy. Drop me a comment. Let's get to talking. I would love to hear what you guys think. All right. And don't forget to share me with all of everybody you know. Everybody. I don't care who it is. Just share me. Period. But let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. So starting off with episode 2, the icing on the brain cake. Okay, what did I want to highlight in this episode? Let me see. Okay, so yeah, first scene that we had with Danielle and Nate, who were taking their daughter to do some updated photos and stuff. She had no idea that Nate had underwent brain surgery 6 years prior, and I think their son is 8. So y'all do the math. Like that I'm sure was very nerve-wracking for her and for the family at that time. So shout outs to him for making a full recovery and being having that traumatic event be 6 years in the past. Now we are full speed ahead. I'm glad that he was able to make a full recovery from that. So, but what I wanted to mention in this moment is how, going back to how she's not talking to her brother, and we also find out she's not talking to her dad too. And Nate is kind of the link in between the grandkids and the grandfather at this point. But he kind of said something that made me think like, okay, what's going on with his family as well? We kind of got a little bit more insight into his parents' situation and stuff like that on later episodes. But during this episode, I was really kind of like, what's going on there? Because he even doubled down on the whole, like, we don't need any family. I'm like, And I guess my ears went up at that moment because I'm sorry, I just am not completely buying what Danielle's trying to sell to us with this whole family drama thing. I feel like there's more to it, but we still haven't gotten that. So I just want to make mention of that. What else in this episode? Oh, Melissa and family, they were having a goodbye dinner for Antonia. And Nick is Melissa's cousin, if I'm not mistaken. He has a really, really big admiration for Joe because Joe was the person in the family that was super receptive and stuff when he came out to the family. So therefore, Joe's going to be the one officiating her cousin Nick's wedding, which I feel like is it's symbolic, because again, Joe was that person and that person for them, and he also doesn't have a place in his own family. So I'm sure that felt good, being so accepted into Melissa's family. I'm like, at least he's not lacking there, because clearly he don't have that with his own family. But that kind of reminds me of like, what is the deal with the Wakilis and stuff then? I know Teresa was over them, but like, what if Joe doesn't have an issue with them? Why can't he go over there and still be, you know, a family with them then? Just a thought. We also found out a bit more about Rachel and her medical condition, which at the time it was juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. She's been dealing with since she was a child. She had got both hips replaced at 18. Like, oh my goodness, that I can't even imagine. And that's what allowed her to do the fitness competitions and all that. Like, she was, you know, full speed ahead at that point, but it's starting to affect her more now. Like, she's starting to have a lot more flare-ups and pain and all of that. So that's never a good thing to hear. I do feel for her in that regard. And just to be a little bit, you know, more transparent with you all and stuff, I also am somebody who has, you know, I had shoulder surgery when I was in the military, and since getting out of the military, I got a lot of aches and pains, my dang self and stuff, and certain ailments and stuff like that. So I can definitely empathize with Rachel about this, especially since we are around the same age, and how it, you know, really affects you in your daily life. I can understand that, and especially with her having two very young children. I can only imagine, and I hope she's able to get the proper care she needs, and she can get into some better pain management with it. I really hope she can. I just wanted to point that out again, because that is, again, something that I can empathize with. Rachel also revealed how, okay, going back to Teresa's comments about John Fuda being the biggest drug dealer in Bergen County. So what Rachel has to say about this is that at 17 years old, he was arrested for selling weed. Period. Case closed. That's the end of story. So because of that, being as though it was something that happened so long ago, she found it really funny, or not even funny. She found it quite disgusting that Teresa decided to dig that up and throw it in their faces, especially being that Teresa, like, you're a whole convicted felon out here. Like, so who are you to throw anybody's past in their face? Especially when you were the person who didn't even want to say the word prison when you came out. Like, girl, goodbye. Goodbye. I would be shutting Teresa down every which way if it was me. I don't care. Be mad. I just thought that was wild. But I mean, if that's what Rachel says happened, I'm gonna take it for what it is, what she says it is, because she would know better than we would. And excuse me, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm so rude. I'm gonna take it for what she says though, and until otherwise comes up. What else happened in this episode? Partly, I'd be so confused by him. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I just need to ask. You do know you're with an Italian woman, right? Like, you do know that, right? An Italian woman, not even just an Italian woman from Jersey, right? Although I'm not somebody who's like all about the shore and stuff like that, I am well aware that they, at least the ladies on this cast, the families on this cast, they like them some Jersey Shore. So I'm like, Polly, you don't even like the shore. You don't like meatballs. You don't like that. Like, like what? Like, I was so confused. That just was super funny to me. I'm sorry, but it was. Also, during this episode, we're introduced to Tiffany. She's a friend of Rachel's. No, she's a friend of Danielle's, I want to say. I'm only bringing it up because a lot of people were so curious by her in trying to understand if she's going to be like an official friend of or what her whole deal was. But she did give some spice. She did give some interesting comments and stuff like that. So I understand why she piqued some viewers' interest. I wonder if we'll get more of her. It was like her and the Kayla girl. Like, I don't know what their deal is yet, but just wanted to mention that. And when Teresa and Louis walked in, I think it was them and Dolores, Polly, and Jen Aydin at this point. I'm not going to lie, y'all. Melissa was getting bothered a little bit because she started to like do like a mocking thing when they walked in, trying to like mock Teresa or whatever. And I was just like, if it was me and I didn't care about them at all, and maybe this is just how she is. But me, Barb right here, I'm somebody that if I don't care about you whatsoever, like you're not even going to get a mock out of me. But so I just found that a little odd. It was definitely giving bothered in my opinion, but whatever. Jen Fessler, this is where she showed her hand in being a flip-flop, if you ask me, or not even a flip-flop as much as just like she was giving fan. She's definitely giving fan. I'm not even going to say that she's doing things to be malicious as much as she's doing things to be like relevant, I feel like. And I feel like she's trying to be buddy with who she sees as the queen bee, which is Teresa. And I feel like Rachel is so confused at this point because it's pretty much understood, I feel like, at least for me, that whether y'all met with the intention of cooperating stories or what, y'all were in cahoots with one another about stuff. And you guys thought that Jen was a part of that until she said, "Joke's on you. I'm not sticking to the plan either." That's all I can really understand it to be, y'all. And I say that because when her and Teresa sat down, Jen like immediately divulged everything. And she goes on about how it was basically like a get together to come up with what to say when the other side comes at them and yada, yada, yada. And she said it was Jackie, Margaret, Joe, Jen, Jeff, Melissa, Joe, Rachel, and John. So that's why I say, like, it's not hard for me to believe that they did come together to get the plan going or whatever. But the part that's missing here that Jen isn't speaking of, that she's acting like she doesn't know anything about, is the part where you were the one that made it seem like your allegiance was to them, and now you're pulling a fast one. Because I don't know if it's because you want a bigger slice of the pie. I don't know if it's because you want to be a full-time cast member. I don't know if it's because you think, tethering yourself just in general to somebody who you see as a staple person on the cast is going to continue to make sure solidify your spot in seasons to come. I don't know what it is, y'all, but what I will say is Jen definitely made me made my booty itch a bit with how she's coming off lately. I don't like it, but anyway. And I feel like she also was like denying when the whole "you didn't execute the plan correctly" type thing. I feel like she was denying her part and stuff while placing the spotlight on John and how he didn't even open the manila envelopes and stuff like that. I feel like she deflected in that moment, and I don't like people that do stuff like that. I wanted better for her. I saw better for her. And I was just like, if it didn't already appear this way to me, it was at this very moment that I clearly recognize Jen is not Marge's friend, because it's giving very much she wants to be besties with Teresa, which I think is just the worst plan ever. Because she's have we not learned anything from Nene's fall from grace, Vicky Govelson, who else? Who else are people that have been quote unquote humbled, so to speak? Have we not learned anything from those individuals that nobody is above being replaced. It doesn't matter how many seasons you've been on this show. It doesn't matter how much seniority you have, whatever. Have we not learned that, y'all? Just saying. Okay. I'm going to play I like the video real quick, y'all, and then we're going to get into episode 3. All right, episode 3, which was shoring up sides. Okay, so first thing I want to make mention of in this episode was how Jennifer made it just so clear to us that she was not going to be initiating speaking to Melissa because historically speaking, she has always been the one to take the first step in that direction. And I'm like, okay, I can see why you say that. Maybe I'll give you that much, Jennifer. But the part that you're missing is when you say that it's because you're the one that usually starts the stuff first. And if you guys can't agree with that, you could at least agree with she did that last season with that whole rumor, that because that didn't need to be brought up, in my opinion, especially since it was later revealed that Melissa knew about the rumor. Like, come on now. And this is when I look over at Dolores and say, hey, Switzerland, like, these are the moments where we need you to be like, yeah, that's usually the case because you typically cast the first stone, bitch. Like, Dolores, she be pissing me off sometimes. I'm sorry. She'll say things in her confessional, but she'll never actually say them to the person that, like, that's really the type of role she needs to be playing in this group. She's a biased Switzerland. I'm sorry. She is. I don't like. So, Joe really wanted to have Bill, or should I say Tony the Turk, at his party. And I understood that. And I feel like that's a bittersweet thing about this particular franchise, I want to say, because the guys, they do play such a pivotal role on the cast. And it does suck that when their wives are at odds, like by proxy, then they kind of have to have their distance or whatever. That really does suck. But I mean, I understand it, but it does suck. And I do understand too, like, why Joe wanted him there, because I do think that him and Bill, they really do enjoy each other's company. It just sucks that their wives don't get along. And I understood why Bill was like, yeah, our wives are still not in a good place, so I can't do that. And I feel like with Jennifer, she's like, oh, they don't even really want us at their party anyway. Like, that was just done for whatever reason. I feel like two things can be true at the same time. They or at least Joe can really genuinely want Bill to be there, but no, at the same time, am I going to sit here and say like Melissa and Joe, like they were super excited to probably have you be there? Like, no, I think it's like, again, two things can be true at once. They could want you guys there, but it can also be mostly because of he wanted Bill there. I feel like there's nothing wrong with saying that. And I feel like that was made even more clear with how Joe responded in this moment. I can't exactly remember exactly what he said, but I feel like he brought up when Joe said the whole thing was brought up in the first place. I can't remember what he said, but Joe said something that made me think like, yeah, like, I don't really think he's too fond of Jennifer. And again, I'm not negating what apparently occurred at BravoCon and stuff. And I'm not saying that Joe and Melissa are the victims here or anything like that. I'm just saying that this side has done a lot of stuff and this side has done stuff too. But I don't feel like anybody should just play the victim. I really don't. Because everybody knows what I did at the end of the day. Moving on. The producers ask if Joe's helping pay, and she says no, he can't help right now, but Louis helping. Oh, talking about Gabriella in college and stuff like that. We know that Teresa's the one that's been holding down the fort when it comes to everything with those girls and in life. Louis helping. What does Louis do, y'all? Oh, you guys forgot what this that weirdo. What does he do? Like, what does he really do? That's my question, to even be helping, but whatever. Teresa asks Louis how he feels about last night. Like, did John come up to him at all? And Louis says no, he doesn't have time for that. John's a loser. And again, I'm like, John's a loser, but what the do you do exactly? Yeah, we'll wait. We'll definitely wait on that one. And Teresa's still gonna sit here and play in our faces and act like she doesn't know why everybody's like, girl, you said what you said. You did say what you said. You know what you meant when you said he was the biggest drug dealer in Bergen County. That had nothing to do with past tense. You presented it as if it was relevant information right now. That is if he was doing it right now. I don't care. She could say that till she's blue in the face. I'm gonna still believe what I just said. And Louis called John one ugly effer, and I was like, let me play it. Excuse me? He's one ugly MFer, but this is you. Okay. I see where we're at with this. Okay. Oh, what else do I have to say about this episode? The only other thing I want to mention, y'all, is at the party, Frank he revealed to Dolores that he was planning on proposing to Brittany, right? When they go out to Costa Rica. I feel like he only told her that. Well, scratch that. I feel like she was so receptive and excited and happy for him in that moment. Because I mean, yeah, maybe she really was, but I feel like she also was like, oh, thank you, Jesus, because she knew that now he has somebody to take care and make sure he's good in his later years in life. And she knew that if he didn't find somebody, that she was going to do it. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. And I'm sticking behind it. Like, you can't tell me that it wasn't laced with a little bit of that. Like, woo, thank God. Thank God he found somebody else to do it. Blow up their phone and ask for them to cook and do stuff. Like, ooh, thank God. Because, they got that interesting dynamic. I feel like that's kind of what it was giving. Moving on, y'all. Moving on. I'm not going to play like the video, but make sure you guys like the video. Let's get into episode 4 now. A League of Their Own Worst Enemy. So, still talking about Frank here. Did you guys catch what is their daughter's name? Whatever her name is. Not Brittany. Whatever their daughter's name is. Her being like super grossed out by calling Frank dad. Like, what was that about? Well, interesting. I thought that was very interesting. Antonio doesn't know what fabric softener is. Not surprised there. I love that Joe is so supportive to Marge, because I don't think that's something that too many people would be comfortable with, you being so unnerved and upset and just stuck on things with your ex. Like, I don't think too many people will be able to not feel a type of way about that. He understands that they had a unique relationship, and really he's just being supportive of her in this moment. And I'm like, that's good. I'm glad that things work out in Marge's life when it comes to all of that, because going from being a side chick and this and that, I wonder, I mean, I'm Joe has kids of his own, I'm sure, right? Because he was married too. He was cheating on his wife too when with that whole thing. I wonder what his relationship was like with his ex-wife. They got the same type of dynamic? Probably not. I don't know. Anyway. What else, y'all? Dolores has why does Dolores have 10 dogs? Like, I get her daughter's a vet and stuff, but I could never. I don't care what you guys. Never. That's way too many. I don't care. Ooh, okay. So at the dog party thing or whatever, how did you guys feel about Gia chiming in so much? Gia chiming in, she got confessionals, all this stuff. How do you guys feel about her playing a bigger role in the show? I'm sure based on my face, you guys already probably know how I feel. And that's girl, bye. Girl, bye. And I feel like the only reason why she thinks she can say things and whatever is because that's the life that Teresa has breathed into her, and the ways that she probably has said all types of things in front of those kids and vented to them kids and vented to Gia and stuff about how she felt about these other ladies and whatnot. That's probably what's made them so comfortable to say stuff. I know Gia's grown or whatever, but I just not a super fan of it. She had a lot of requests and opinions, and I was just like, and I think it's not fair too, because at the end of the day, for the most part, the fact that she is Teresa's daughter is going to keep a lot of heat off her back, even though she is intervening and placing herself in the mix. A lot of them, out of respect for Teresa, I'm sure, won't go after Gia because of that. So she probably just feels like she could probably just say and do what she wants. I feel like the only person that probably would put her in her place, so to speak, is Marge. I feel like if she ever had to get her together, she would. But let me know in the comments below, y'all. Like, how do you guys feel about Gia being so in the mix with stuff? So the charity baseball game was actually hosted and also was kind of like in honor of Gertie from the Real Housewives of Miami, if you guys watch that. So I thought that was awesome. And the fact that last year they only had 33 attendants and this year they had 4,000. I mean, hats off to Dolores. She definitely did that. They raised over $125,000, and that wasn't even counting the donations that people brought that night, I want to say. And that just goes to show this is what I want to see people do with this platform. This is what you should be doing when you have a platform like this. You should be using it for the betterment of, causes, different things that you believe in and stuff, because there's power in numbers, clearly. And a lot of people maybe only went because they want to be on camera or whatever, but it still gets the message across, and great things really did come of it. So I can't hate on that at all. Dolores might tether her life to a man any other time and what they got going on, but right now she did the damn thing with this one. So you got it. You got nothing but my respect in that regard. And so it was time for the game, and okay, the whole who invited you to Jen's puppy party? Danielle, like, again, I feel like she's too worried about things that go on with Jennifer and Teresa and other people and stuff. And I think I'm just telling her, you need to just worry about yourself, sis. You need to worry about yourself and your tracks that I think I saw in this moment, because it clearly, going off of history, it does not fare well for you when you are trying to mix in and trying to figure out things with Jennifer and stuff like that. And her trying to draw a comparison between Jennifer not telling her about Melissa and the rumor, and then this also being her also not then telling her in this moment about her making amends or whatever with Jackie. I'm just like, because you like, it's like, Danielle, stop asking obvious questions. It's because she don't really care about being friends with you. That's why you didn't know. Girl, come on. Huh. I'm just like, say less, please. And Jackie, you talking about Marge don't take your side. I feel like Marge took your side a lot of more times than a lot of other people around here. You're just mad because she won't agree in this moment. And it's because you're giving flip-flop. You're giving loser. You're getting loser, girl. And they don't want to really be friends with you either. And you're falling right for it like an idiot. Like a straight fool. And she sounded even more foolish asking Marge well, did you post about it? When she was talking about Jan's passing and how, she didn't reach out to Marge, stuff like that. Did you post about it? Girl, you fucking serious? I would have walked away from her in that moment. I wouldn't have had anything else to say to her about it. Because I'm like, did you post about it? Like, tell me we're really not friends without telling me we're really not friends, because I don't care. I'm a good friend. So I would say with my whole chest, I know when my friends have things going on or major things in their life, I'm going to know. And I do not need a post to make me remember certain things. I don't. Jackie, you suck. You suck. And y'all, that's honestly, looking at my notes. Yeah, let me make sure. Yeah, we're good. That's all I really got for these episodes, y'all. Those are the parts I wanted to touch on. But of course, feel free to touch on any other parts or anything in between as it pertains to episodes 2 through 4 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I would love to get down and talk to you guys about that. Episode 5 is live right now. So after you see this one, go ahead, check out my recap and review for episode 5. That is a full recap and review from start to finish. And starting with episode 6, we'll be back at the normal, regularly scheduled time and all that, y'all. So please make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you do catch all of my uploads and stay in the mix. And again, hit me up in those comments and don't forget to like the video, y'all. I will see you in the next one. Bye.